Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. You know, I posted MVI 6765. Was Prescott Bush a Nazi collaborator? One of my viewers suggested I take a look at Samuel Prescott Bush. Now, as it turns out, Prescott Bush was also called Samuel Prescott Bush. But this is the father of the Nazi collaborator. And again, his name is Samuel Prescott Bush. He was born in 1863 on October 4th, and he passed away in 1948 on February the 8th. He was the father of Senator Prescott Bush, which is what I just mentioned. He was the grandfather of George H.W. Bush, President 41, and the great-grandfather of George W. Bush. He was the son of Reverend James Smith Bush. You sort of wonder how they all became so twisted and became warmongers, every single one of them, after James Smith Bush was a warmonger. Now, it says here that the Grand Patriarch of the Bush clan founded the Buckeye Steel Casting Company of Ohio in 1894. It also says he was the first president of the National Manufacturers Association and co-founder of SCIOTO Country Club and Columbus Academy. Now, what's interesting is that in the spring of 1980, Bush became chief of the Ordnance, Small Arms, and Ammunition section of the War Industries Board of Bernard Baruch and Clarence Dillon, with national responsibilities for government assistance and relations with Remington and other weapon companies. Bush was essentially taking national responsibility for government assistance to his own Remington Arms Company and other weapons makers. Through these weapon manufacturers, Samuel Bush made and sold arms to 75% of World War I combatants on both sides. What that means is that, well, you know what that means. He sold weapons to the Germans the same as he sold weapons to the Americans and to the French. He didn't care who he sold them to, as long as he made money. I'm going to attach the link. There's more that you can read. The reality is that these Bushes are all warmongers. George W. Bush, Iraq, which we're still fighting. His father was H.W. Bush, Desert Storm. Prescott Bush was a collaborator with the Nazis, and his father, Samuel Prescott Bush, sold 75% of all weapons to both sides. Now, you want to tell me you think that we should consider voting for Jebby Bush? I mean, come on. We got 4 generations of warmongers, and you want to put a 5th one in? Huh? What's he going to do? Start World War III or World War IV, depending on what Obama does? I'm going to attach the link. You take a look at this family history. Above the title it says, Prescott Bush was a Nancy whore, but his father Samuel was worse. World War I. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You can't make this stuff up. George W. Bush is responsible for tens of thousands of wounded military men and women. He's responsible for the deaths of multiple tens of thousands of military men and women. They're still dying today because of what he did when he decided to invade Iraq and kill Saddam Hussein, who took a contract out on his father, which is why he launched a war against Iraq that's still going on, what, 14 years later? They're all warmonger whores. And Jeb Bush, I can't believe, would be any different. You know, a matter of fact, I saw a little clip of Jeb Bush. He was on some comedy show, and he was asked his position on immigration, and he answered it in perfect Spanish dialect. I don't know what he said, because I don't speak Spanish. Folks, he immersed himself 2 years in South America. He was there for 2 years, immersing himself in the culture. You don't think he's going to have open border policies with the Hispanics? You're out of your mind. You're completely out of your mind. He's married to a Hispanic. He wants Common Core. The guy's a joke. And if the Republican Party tries to slam that jackass down our throats, you can say goodbye to the Republican Party as far as I'm concerned. That's sort of what I think. Let me know what you think about the Bush dynasty. You know, how many videos did I make where I said we've had enough of the Bushes? That's before I knew all that I now know. Hopefully now you know as well. Pass this along to your like-minded friends. They need to know who's running for the Oval Office if that ever becomes vacant, which I highly doubt. I don't see the guy with the floppy ears, that homosexual Arab extremist Islamic Muslim, ever leaving on his own 2 size 12 shoes. Do you? If you do, you're delusional.